I'm Andy and welcome to my channel about crypto. In today's video I want to talk about one particular project, and that's Taroverse. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this project is because, first of all, I think it has few quite interesting features. And also I wanted to show you on an example of this project how I analyze projects, how I do my research, and essentially what I take into consideration when deciding whether a project is worth investing in or not. As always, of course, this is not financial advice. These are just my opinions. And of course, especially in the current bear market, it is very risky to invest in, well, pretty much anything, but especially small cap and micro cap projects. So of course, make sure that whatever you're doing, it's matching your own risk tolerance and essentially your own situation. Nonetheless, I think in the market like this one, it's really important to keep an eye on those projects. And if you watch my previous video I posted a couple of days ago, I talked there a lot about the importance of essentially staying active in the bear market and just looking at, well, what has potential to go up in the, maybe not in the coming weeks, but in months and years. And certainly as we are going to head into the next bull market, which projects are worth getting into early. So let's have a look at Taroverse. It's a play-to-earn game, so it fits the whole narrative of crypto gaming and metaverse projects I'm really bullish on. And if you watch my previous video, you know that basically I think that the next bull run will be still very much focused on, essentially be driven by this narrative: crypto gaming, metaverse, NFTs, and overlap of those three areas. And the reason why I think so is because I think this is where the most of utility and real use cases is likely to come from, at least in early stages. By that, I don't mean like the metaverse in a Ready Player One kind of sense. I think that's still a good 10, if not 15 years away. However, it's not like we have to wait for that kind of metaverse and this is the only way we'll experience crypto gaming. I think, well, it's quite obvious that it will be a gradual process and there will be a lot of smaller games coming out before the metaverse is fully developed. And a lot of those games will be crucial essentially to bring mass adoption of crypto. Because let's be honest, not everyone is particularly interested in, I don't know, financial services and possibilities DeFi offers, right? Or not everyone may fully benefit from, I don't know, banking the unbanked and so on. So essentially, a lot of the ideas, a lot of the utility of crypto may not necessarily benefit a lot of people who may potentially be interested in it. However, using crypto and NFTs in gaming, I think that's something that will very likely drive mass adoption because there is a very clear use case for both of those technologies. And of course, well, everyone or almost everyone likes gaming, so there is a very clear link there. So why am I looking at Taroverse? Well, and what is it, first of all? So if we look at the video on their website, basically at the core, there is this island. And this island is linking multiple games. So unlike many crypto gaming projects, Taroverse actually contains multiple games which are linked by this island. And there are like mini games in there where you can, for example, here you have archery mini game, or you can go on a monster hunt and stuff like that. But there are also other games that sort of link into it. And as usual with crypto gaming projects, it's a play to earn model. So basically you can earn tokens by playing the game or games in this case. But also what's quite interesting here is, of course, as you would expect with many crypto games, you also have NFTs. And also you have some elements of DeFi. So you have staking and you have options to earn passive income. And I think that's really cool. I recommend, of course, that you go through all of the materials on their website, and especially the pitch deck, because that gives you a sort of very brief but good idea of what the project is about. So as you can see here, it's this whole mini metaverse of play to earn games. So it's not just an individual game. And when it comes to the value proposition, I think especially the first point is the interesting one. It's DeFi with NFTs. So you will be able to collect different NFTs to build your deck and stake them to then earn passive income. And of course, you can still utilize those NFTs in game. So there are those multiple layers of how you can utilize your assets within this ecosystem, and also how you can make how we can generate income from it, either through staking or through actually participating in the game or games. There's DeFi farming and so on, but I just want to focus on like few main things I find interesting about this project. So at the moment they're developing 3 games: Tactics Royale, Monster Bash, and Taro Gem Quest. You can read about those projects more here in those slides. And also you can find out here more about the utility of the tokens. So you can use it for staking, farming, minting NFTs, for transaction fees and payments in-game or in the in-ecosystem marketplace, merging and dismantling NFTs, in-game activity rewards, and for rewards from leaderboard and special events, and of course, providing liquidity on exchanges. So there is quite a fair bit of utility for the token, which is great. And it's on BSC, Polygon. Essentially, it's not Ethereum token, which is also quite good because that means that gas fees are much lower, pretty much zero on BSC or Polygon. So that's always good. And then you can also earn commission for inviting new players into the game, which is also pretty cool. If we look at the roadmap, we are currently at this stage here. We're moving on to this stage. They have quite a lot of plans. There is quite a lot going on, which is always great to see. Again, if you watch my previous video, I mentioned there that during this phase of the market cycle, when essentially everything goes a bit quiet, it's really important to look at projects which remain active, projects and also people, whether they are influencers or anyone else in this space. Because you'll find that a lot of projects, they'll just sort of go quiet and then slowly die down. Same with, I don't know, if you're following an influencer and then suddenly stop posting about crypto and everything. It's like, well, are they even in this space anymore? Are they still involved in any projects they were supporting before and so on? So that's always something good to see and keep track of, whether when there is a solid roadmap, whether essentially the project is still following through with that, whether they're posting regular updates, whether they're remaining active, because it will be tough time for everyone in the crypto space for the next few months. There is no going around it. But the projects and participants in this space who remain active, who remain engaged, well, they will reap the biggest benefits when the bull market is back on. Essentially, as many other people are saying, this is the perfect market to build in this space, or the perfect time to build in this space. Because once the bull market is back on, well, ideally you want to be in a position to get the benefits of what you've been building when the market was quiet. So that's why I say it's really important to track those projects and see it. It's like, okay, well, they are still on track with the roadmap. They're still doing stuff. They're still developing. That means that even if at the moment the situation is not great and the token is not performing great, they're actually in a good position to do really, really well when the bull market is back on. At the same time, the projects that will go completely quiet in this phase, well, there's pretty good chance that probably by the time the bull market is back on, they either haven't done much or the project is completely dead. I suppose there's a possibility that they've been just working in the background, but sometimes even if they've been doing that, well, the issue is that all the hype and all the interest will die down because essentially no one heard about the project for months and months. Yeah. So I think there is a lot of potential here. It's an interesting idea. I like this whole concept with a small metaverse of games. And I like the fact that there are also elements of DeFi here, which is, I think it's a really clever way of essentially onboarding new people into DeFi, because I mean, crypto overall helped with like financial education of a large group of people, young people, but also older people who normally maybe wouldn't be particularly interested in finance or investing and so on. But suddenly, because of crypto, it all becomes bit more accessible, bit more interesting. It's all happening really fast in the crypto and NFT space. So it's really easy to see results, good or bad, of your investing decisions. But at the same time, I think the DeFi space is not still exactly the most interesting for an average person. However, if you can get people into DeFi by introducing them to DeFi concepts, but in a game, I think that's a quite clever idea, and then it can help, again, or onboarding more and more people. So it's quite nice to see this. Also, if we look at their website and we look at the team, that's another thing I always look at, who's actually behind the project. And in this case, we have 15 people in the team. So it's not just a couple of guys or ladies putting something together, which is sometimes absolutely fine. But of course, the bigger the team, the higher the likelihood that it's a serious project and everyone is doing something they actually specialize in rather than sort of trying to make it work. And also, as you can see, they all have LinkedIn profiles. And I went through quite a few of those, and yeah, they are genuine, proper LinkedIn profiles. So the team is fully doxed. You can see who's behind it. And that's always really good, because if you've been in the space for a while, or even just the last few weeks, there were quite a few instances when, well, essentially there were some nasty surprises, and partially because people were not doxed, and I don't know, people who previously done some rug pulls on one project or projects were then launching another project and everyone was jumping into it, not realizing who's behind it. So that's, again, something really important. Who's behind the project? What are the project fundamentals? Does it offer anything new? Is it active? Is the team active? And does the project stay active when the market goes bear and there isn't really much going on? And then also, well, if we just look at the token's price, it's a tiny market cap, $2.5 million. Like I said before, investing in anything right now is very risky, and especially small and micro caps. So of course, this is not financial advice. You have to make your own decisions. But essentially, projects with small market cap, tiny market cap in this case, are the projects that have the most potential to go up a lot in the future. Because sure, you can invest in something much more secure, like let's say ApeCoin, if we look at altcoins. But that's like $1.8 billion market cap. And then of course, ETH or Bitcoin, well, they have market cap in hundreds of billions of dollars. So the potential for that project to go up is relatively low. I mean, it can do 5x, it can maybe do 10x, but it will not do 50x or 100x in foreseeable future. While small projects like this, I mean, we've seen plenty of gaming projects hitting valuations in multiple hundreds of millions of dollars. Few of them even went beyond that. So, well, from 2.5 million, 100x is 250 million. So that's in theory perfectly achievable. So that's, again, something worth keeping in mind when picking projects, how much potential they have for growth. And then if we look at the price action over, well, since the token was released, it actually looks pretty healthy. We had, of course, initially a bit of a pump, but that was only about 2.5x or so. Not huge pump straight on release, which to be honest isn't great for long-term health of the project. So bit of a pump at the beginning, then dip, and then very steady performance. Okay, I appreciate it's only been about a month or so not a huge amount of time, but crypto space been quite up and down in that month. And this project's been performing really steadily. And that's something really good to see, because if you look at many other projects, well, they've been actually gradually but quite clearly declining over time. And in this case, it's actually pretty solid. So that's good to see. And if you look at many other successful projects, you will see that that's very often a very good, healthy pattern in terms of price action. So all in all, I think it's a really interesting project. I recommend that you do check it out. Do check out all the information, read their white paper, go through their pitch deck, go through the profiles of the team. That's the sort of stuff I always do and when I'm looking into a new project. Also, it's always worth joining project's Discord or Telegram and essentially just trying to get some sort of feel of who's in there, asking some questions. If you have any questions about the project, if you're not sure about something, try to find out whether that's something that you feel that has potential long-term or not. And I'm not talking here about this project on its own. I'm just talking about the space overall, rather than simply jumping into something because someone somewhere said that this project is going to the moon. Well, try to find out as much as possible about it and understand why does it have potential to go to the moon. And like I said, for me, the main things I'm looking at is who's behind the project, what are the project tokenomics, and what's the price action if there is already token released, what the project actually offers. Is it something new, or even if it's not necessarily new because there are only so many things you can invent, well, is there an interesting idea behind what they're offering? Does it have potential to get more people on board? And then is the project active? Does it remain active, especially mid-long term? And of course, if activity drops, well, that's the point when you have to start asking yourself a question: does this project still have long-term potential? And sometimes it does. Or maybe actually it's a write-off and it's not going to do that much because either the team gave up on it or something else. So yeah, these are the key elements. I think this is a really good example to show why I think it's a project with a lot of potential, why I'm interested in it, why I'm tracking its price action. And as always, if you have any questions, please pop them in the comment section or join my Discord. We can have a chat there. And thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.